Hi everybody, just letting YouTubers know of a Vectrex Wiki that is out. To answer probably the first questions, well, what exactly is a wiki? Is that like Wikipedia? Yeah, pretty much in some ways it isn't. Wikis or Wikias and Wikipedia, they do have several things in common, like everyone can edit or create an entire article. There's ways to link many articles together. A few differences is that not everything from Wikipedia can be converted to a wiki or a wikia. And each individual wikia is in regards to one subject in particular. As far as gaming entries go for Wikipedia, they have certain rules that you can't do, like you can't write a gaming entry like as a guide. You can't have a scoring table. You can't say how much points it'll take to get to a next level, etc., etc. You can do all that with a wikia. And probably the biggest difference is that each individual wikia is in regards to one subject in particular, like there's Star Wars and Star Trek wikias, and cooking, the Glee TV show, cars, and well, now there's an All Vectrex wikia. And got the obligatory just list of games and stuff like that, homebrewers. There are also full game entries, and except for one that I took from another wiki, which you can do anyway since it's not copyrighted, it's what's known as copyleft. Oh my, that's clever. Just as long as you give the source back to the original wiki where you got it from, you could do that. Anyway, most of these are full game write-ups done by myself, except I think for like one I got from another place. And these are all games that I either own, used to own, or just really familiar with, like playing them or borrowing from friends back in the day. Many of these do not even have entries into Wikipedia. And this is looking to become the largest Vectrex resource of its kind, because not only are there a lot of gaming entries, but I'm also doing entries for homebrewers. I've only got two right now at the time I'm doing this recording, which the instant I put it online it's going to go out of date. Right now I've got a page on Vectrex Mad Productions known as Vectrex Mad here on YouTube. Ooh, bet that was hard to guess. Also on, might be mispronouncing this, Billy Crumlin. He was the guy who created the excellent Thrust game. And I'm also got possible pages coming from Classic Game Creations, John Donzilla, Christoph Tutz of Vectrexian's fame. He had gave me his word that he would get back to my questions once he finishes up his latest game, which is Vector Pilot, which is a clone of Time Pilot. And there's also a curiosity of this company called Data Access, or is that Data Access, which, and again, you know, this will be out of date once it goes online, but if you see this soon enough, if you go to vintagetrademarks.com, well, under electronics, there's a Vectrex right there. If you see it early enough, it'll say that they're looking to release a handheld unit in 2006, which obviously since I'm doing this in early 2011, that didn't happen, but I got in contact with them and they said it is supposed to be coming out this year, so I'm going to see about doing a write-up on them. It's going to be a work in progress because there's certain information that they can't release on the unit, which is pretty much what I figured anyway. So there's all that going on. I'm looking to contact other people as well as those who were original employees of GCE who made the Vectrex in their games and applications and all. There's an About Forum, a section about writing up your own experience of when you got your Vectrex, or maybe if you just have an amusing story to tell about the machine. A big article about how to enlarge your Vectrex screen. I don't mean in regards to hooking it up to an arcade unit or anything like that. This is just in regards to taking what's basically like a cross between a magnifying glass and a sheet of paper called a magnifying sheet or a Fresnel lens, just putting it over your Vectrex, and well, there's over 3 dozen games covered right now. And there's Vectrex and news items that I put up from time to time where something big happens or someone puts up a new Vectrex related YouTube video I think is worth sharing, then I put that up in the news from time to time. To go over some of the basics in case anyone joins up and decides to contribute anything, there is an article about how to write an article in regards to this wiki in particular. And just like the piece, I'm not going through a step-by-step guide on how to do it, and there's a pretty decent help section for for beginners and all, but I'm just going to go over a few of the basics. Individual wikis, they have their own set of rules and stuff like that. I'm only taking a couple of them because I'm looking at this to be a pretty laid-back wiki. It's not instantly going in and changing stuff and sassing the person who wrote it. Hey, you're supposed to be doing this, or you're not supposed to be doing that. Just one rule is that if you come up with a new article and if the title of whatever it is you're writing about is in the first line of the opening paragraph, just put that in bold. You mentioned any other video game stuff, any other console like the Xbox 360 for some reason in your article, any platform like the arcade, put that in italics. And for a lot of the articles, you're going to need to put in headers and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff, along with looking at the help pages, you just need to look at another article, just press edit, and you can see the coding. A lot of the stuff's pretty simple because when I first got into this, I was looking at the headers and they look good, and you're like, God, you're going to have to change the font size to make them bigger and put in all this coding for these lines and stuff like that. No, it's real simple. You just write in whatever you want as a header, put 2 equal signs before and after it. And then when the page is ready, ta-da, makes that into a bigger font, bold it, and there's a line underneath it. A lot of stuff like that, real simple, you know. Bullet marks, you just use asterisks. Again, they're not going to show up as asterisks, they'll show up as bullet marks when the page is done. Also, you need to do as many links as possible for, again, being an All Vectrex Wiki. You want to have links to any other Vectrex related mentions in your article. Again, easy to do. 2 sets of brackets around terms. What that does when the page is ready, if something's in blue, that means that there's a page on there. You just click on it, it takes you to that page. Something's in light purple, there's a page on the wiki, and you had viewed it recently. Stuff is in red is articles that are not there yet. They should be there, but they're not. And then finally, put in categories at the bottom. That way, if someone reads something that they like and they see the category, they just click on it and they'll give them a nice summary of all the articles that are involved in that category. Now, if anyone's new to this stuff, this might seem like a lot, but all you have to do is just look at a few similar articles and see how it's structured. Hit edit. Don't hit publish afterwards if you didn't change anything. You see the codes, and it's not really that difficult. Just sum up real quick. Put the name of the article is mentioned in the first sentence. Put it in bold. Do links. Headers are easy. Categories at the end. That's pretty much it. And especially since if you start up a new page and it shows you all this stuff and it says, text goes here, photo here, and you're like, I can't really work around this. I suggest just do what I do. Just highlight it and just delete all that. I mean, that's just the main thing is just putting in text. That's basically it. Headers and the links, those are all really simple. So that's one thing to expect on this site. Now, things that won't go on the site, copyrighted material. Again, this stuff is supposed to be largely free of copyright. Now, you got something Vectrex related you want to write up, you don't have a picture of it, someone else on another website does, most of the time in general, it's pretty easy to get in contact with them. Just send them an email or Facebook or whatever it is that they have, contact them that way and ask if you could use the picture or whatever it is that they have on their site. And especially since if whatever you write turns out to be a pretty big write-up, it looks nice to break up a bunch of text with pictures. But the thing is, if they say no, well, they have the right to do that, and you're just going to have to respect that. I've covered gaming expos before for friends' websites, and the main thing is taking photos of these arcade games. People are like, oh wow, I hadn't seen that game in 20 years. But I also would get photos of people, and I'd get their names and stuff. That way, it's a cool thing for them because they could link to it later and show their friends, hey, some guy took my picture here in front of Robotron or whatever. Some people don't want to be involved at all. They don't want their pictures taken. Other people would allow their pictures to be taken, but they didn't want to be identified. And, that's their choice. I mean, let's face reality here. The truth of the matter is no one on the entire face of the planet has to give you a damn thing. So if they turn you down, well, you're just going to have to respect that and move on. I mean, this is the Vectrex we're talking about. Vectrex, having the ROMs distributed, even the ones for the original games, that's totally 100% legal. It's one of the few platforms out there where the ROMs are legal. Whoever it is that owns the rights to the X of the arcade games, their library was made legal several years ago, and I don't know who else, but there's a lot of stuff that you can just easily download, get it running in an emulator, and throw up a screenshot. Nothing on here. I think it's kind of an unwritten wiki rule where you can't really sign your name to stuff, which using the 4 tildes or tildes, I don't know how you say it. Yeah, those things. You just put in 4 of those if you have a wiki account, and it'll automatically print your name. And I'm not going to go in and take those out of articles because it's not a huge no-no, but it doesn't really make any sense in order to sign your name when this is on a site where anyone can edit this stuff. Now, there are a few exceptions to the rules, like for reviews. It makes sense that someone's giving their opinion on something like that. Definitely sign your name on the forums, and forums don't have to have any kind of formatting whatsoever, unless you're just referring back to an article, so just put up a link there. In regards to putting up your story about when you first got your Vectrex, yeah, definitely sign out. It makes totally 100% sense to know who the hell we're talking to. Now, the article about enlarging your Vectrex screen, yes, definitely sign your name there. Sign. Ask for contributors to put their names on there and what games they contributed to, because even though there's 3 dozen games on there now, hardly any of them are the original Vectrex games. I don't have a lot of them right now. I don't have a Vecflash cart or anything, so I can just download ROMs and just put it on my Vectrex and try it out. So still plenty of room there. Might be 1 or 2 things I'm forgetting, but yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Should have an idea of what's on the site right now, stuff that we're looking for to be contributed, and a couple of things that should not go up there. So just have a look around. Even if you don't sign up for an account, just check it out and post about how good the site is. And well, if you think it sucks, then post out on the Intellivision Wiki. Is there one? Oh, okay.